Well, let's now talk matters coffee reforms in the country, and I'm joined by Daniel Mbithi, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, the gentleman to my left, and I'm also joined by Karugu Macharia, who is the Chairman of the National Coffee Platform. Many thanks, gentlemen, for making time for us. And it has been a very lengthy journey for the coffee industry, Mr. Karugu. And of course, a lot of reforms that have come along in relation to improving the coffee sector. And one of the big issues we've been seeing is how do we have a national trading platform? And let's just start off from there and what your platform will be doing, which in Swahili is known as Sauti ya Kahawa.
I think we have two things here. One is, of course, the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, of which my colleague here, Mbithi, is going to talk about. For me, I'm going to talk about the Kenya Coffee Platform, which is a non-partisan body that is supposed to bring all stakeholders in the coffee industry together so that we can articulate on the issues regarding how we can increase our productivity.
All right.
Yeah.
Kindly proceed and talk to us about how has the changes come along.
Now, for the changes, you know, we have the Coffee Sector Reform Implementation Committee that is led by the Professor Care, of which I cannot touch on that. But on the platform, ours is really to bring all stakeholders together, because on one part, the production in Kenya is as low as around 40,000 metric tons. And at some point, we were producing as much as close to 130,000 tons. So we would like to revitalize the industry. This, of course, we are not doing alone.
Yes.
It's very much in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture, because our role is really to complement and not to start something new, but to work with the government to see how we can increase productivity and improve on our quality, as well as then have better income for our farmers.
All right. And let me throw it off to Mr. Mbithi. Of course, I saw you nodding when we are having that report on flour. And quite an elaborate system there of trading. Are we likely to see the same happening in Kenya's coffee sector?
Thank you, Abi. And thank you for the invitation here. Yes, what is happening in the flour industry and what is happening also in the coffee industry here in Kenya has a lot of similarity, in the sense that we have a system that is automated. I was able to observe what was happening in Holland. Yeah. And there is a lot that compares with what is happening out there, because our system is automated. Yeah. It has been automated since 1998. But as we speak now, we have said time has gone when we need to improve on the same. And we have just done an upgrade to ensure that there is continuity. But in the future, we want to see to that we can be able to even do a much more elaborate trading system. Which, of course, at the end of the day, we will be able to get people trading from the comfort of their offices. Yeah. But for now, we are thinking about how we can improve on the current trading system, and there's a lot that has actually been done to be able to open up, and more so open up to even to the farmers to be able to even see what we are doing at the trading floor.
And Mbithi, currently we understand that out of the 31 coffee growing counties, only 2 are actually active on the platform, and that is Nyeri and the other county,
Kipkelion. The Kericho County.
Kericho County.
Yes.
And so paint for us a picture of what this will do, especially when it comes to prices and, of course, easing the hassle of trading.
As I've said, what we are doing, the thing that we have now is just an upgrade of what has been there.
Yes.
But we have opened this up to the farmer to be able to see what is actually happening on the trading floor. Nothing much more than that. But what we are trying to say is, you know, it has been very mysterious for the farmer. He has been, say, the moment he parts with
and the middlemen have been taking the lion's share.
That can be true or not true, but we are saying as a trading, the people are managing the trading flow. We want to ensure that the farmer is not shortchanged at any one given time. He can be able to see, I offered my coffee. That coffee was actually bought at this particular price. So nobody comes out and says, yes, it was not that value, it was this price.
All right.
You know, because he was able to see. He was able to see actually what he had presented for sale. It's actually what was sold.
All right.
That's what we are trying to do for now. So that and we are beginning with these two regions. It was on a trial basis to see that once it works, then we can be able to seek to be given some more support, and maybe mostly the government can be able to give us much more support to reach out to the rest of the counties, about 30, now about 29 now,
okay,
to see whether we can be able to reach out to those farmers. How does it affect the pricing?
Yes.
It is more of the impact on the farmer. How does the farmer feel more close to his product? Does he feel like he's part of what is happening on the trading floor? That's what we are putting as an emphasis for now, as we are thinking about the future, of course, which is going to be a more expanded, more elaborate kind of a trading floor, platform. Sorry.
And let me bring it back to Sharia and talk to us about what should the farmers expect now that we are seeing the exchange is trying to be more technology-centered, and of course one of the big reforms that was envisioned so that the coffee sector can fully take off is for us to have a strong national platform.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is that as we address the issue related to coffee industry, we cannot forget the Big Four agenda. And you can see on one part whether we improve on our systems at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange,
yes,
or not. Everything is dependent on the productivity.
Correct.
So to start with, it is in that platform,
yes,
that all stakeholders talk to each other and look at what are the real issues that needs to be smoothened so that the farmers can produce more. Remember, if we can produce more coffee, then it means also the farmers can have more in their pocket. The country as well will benefit. So essentially, together with the Minister of Agriculture, the main agenda will be how can we intervene on areas of productivity, which of course means that we need to address the issues of nutrition. When you are talking of nutrition, is possibly having fertilizers, which of course will help the farmers to increase their yield.
Correct.
The other part is of course related to the factory processing units. You know, we have the primary processing units, and as you know, these factories were put up early in the 50s and 60s, and possibly we need to address issues related to the machinery, which would be more climate resilience activities. Say, for example, how can we use less water? How do we, in our production, address issues related to climate change, where we'll have to address on issues of adaptation.
Yes.
Because if we don't do that, then of course we have the weather factors which will affect our production. And then what sells out there is not just the coffee, but the quality. So also giving capacity to our extension people, our people in the factories, including those who are machine operators who are processing. Those are the areas that will be able to address those issues, of course not forgetting the governance within those cooperatives.
All right.
Yeah.
And Karugu, I just want to get your closing comments, especially when it comes to people living in very prime land where it's accessible to many people who work in Nairobi. And we've seen a number of areas where people have cut their coffee to go into real estate for the simple reason that coffee has not been paying well. What is your message to people who are contemplating of selling off their pieces of land because they're saying, hey, ikitu haiwezekani tena, mimi nawachana nayo?
Yeah, you see, maybe on one part, there are some things you cannot stop. For example, when it comes to the issues of urbanization, as long as the population is increasing, inevitably we will still need more land for them to settle. And the city and the towns out environs of Nairobi are still expanding.
Yes.
So that must take place. See, what the approach now is, we have two areas. We can expand where we have land, for example, west of the Rift. So there is huge area for expansion. But more importantly, where you have squeezed areas like in Central and some parts of Eastern, then you can increase your production so that you produce more with less.
Okay.
So at the moment you have an average. It's
not all lost.
Yeah, it's an average of, you have an average of about 2 kilos, but we still have potential of over 20 kilos.
All right.
Yeah. And that,
well, just your closing comments in less than a minute.
Just to make a rider to what he was talking about, and we also need to say the fact that in the western region, there's a lot of actually interest in coffee growing, as much as there's a bit of loss in this other area. There's a lot of coffee growing coming up in the western region and the Rift Valley.
All right.
And I think that is more or less actually even more than compensating what we are even losing on this other side. Yeah.
Many thanks. Many thanks, gentlemen. We've run out of time.
Okay.
And we'll definitely plan for another session where we can actually go to the coffee farm. Indeed. And have a conversation. Well, I've been speaking there to Karugu Macharia from the Kenya Coffee Platform, as well as Daniel Mbithi, the CEO of the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, talking to us really about developments in the coffee sector. And they are looking to actually kick off the system which is being upgraded to offer more capabilities. Well, let's take you to some international news now. And General Electric today announced that the president and CEO for GE Africa, Jay Ireland, will retire from GE effective from September the 30th, 2018. After 38 years of service, Farid Fezua, the president and CEO for GE Healthcare Africa, has been named as president and CEO GE Africa in addition to his role in GE Healthcare. This appointment is effective as of 1st of October in relation to the changes in the corporate world. Well, we wish him the very best as he retires from General Electric after 38 years of service. Well, a Twitter poll question recap was, do you think the change in power tariffs announced by the Energy Regulatory Commission, I beg your pardon, will reduce your monthly power bill? Well, let's take a look at how this question has polled. 29% of you are saying yes, it will reduce the cost of electricity. 41% saying no, 39% saying they are not sure. So quite telling results there, that a majority of you still feel that this might not have a big impact on the cost of electricity. Well, that's where we wrap up the program for now. My name is Abi Agina. We leave you in the hands of our Swahili team, which has more news from across the country.